This game was originally the Monday night game, but there was no Monday night games, so it was on ESPN. So I think the question everyone wants to know is, were the Lions robbed?
Oh, no, it was clear.
Oh, wait,
There's
I
no
had a
doubt.
good transition. Hold on.
Wait, what's the transition?
My transition was the Jets fans were robbed of a season with Aaron Rodgers, and the Lions were robbed of the potential 1 seed.
Which one was more critical? I guess
I would say the 1 seed, because with the way the Ravens are playing now, I didn't see the Jets couldn't have beat them.
No, that is very true. And then, so back to the Lions here, because I want to talk about how bad this was, but we'll move on from other things besides just this, because the reality is, it's also nothing new. Like, this happens to so many teams. It's happened to my team on the biggest stage. I know firsthand how much the refs can literally ruin your season. So the thing I really wanted to say about this is that there really does need to be a critical reform on how, I don't know, this is going to sound a little ridiculous coming out like this, but how reffing is done. I don't know how else to say it. Like, a reform needs to be done on reffing. Call it what it is. I don't really know how it's going to happen, how that has to happen, what the details have got to be. There has to be way more accountability in that profession. You can come in, do it part-time, have zero risk of getting fired, essentially, and make a bag. Tell me how that's like logical for anybody involved.
Well, I think my thing is too, is like all these other leagues that make less money are paying full-time refs.
It doesn't make any sense.
I know, like, for baseball, you have to go to like school, and there's like training. And I'm not saying, obviously there is stuff for NFL referees, but I'm saying, like, to the level of what other leagues do, I don't necessarily know if the NFL listen, like, I mean, I'm never one to say like the NFL is rigged or anything like that. They definitely enjoy when bigger markets win. That's more money for them. But at the end of the day, when you have situations like this and there's no like accountability taken by the league, I mean, everyone knows the Lions were robbed of a win, and God forbid the 49ers lose next week and the Lions win, because it's like you literally robbed a team of a bye week in the playoffs.
Well, no, that's the thing is, and to be honest, there's a fair chance the Niners could at this point, because they're going to be sitting everybody.
Right.
But that's the thing is, they wouldn't have had that opportunity. Everything would have been up in the air. And it is very unfair. Side note, the league did do a little something about it by banning that crew from the playoffs. You know, but for someone like me, it's like, you know what? That's not good enough. Like, when the Saints got bounced, that same reffing crew that fucked us got to do the bowl. And I know I'm not trying to go back in time here, but all I'm saying is, to me, just taking the crew out that did it, okay, a little something. But how about this? That doesn't really help anybody for the future whenever these happen again. What needs to happen is, we already had it, everything reviewable. If things are critically, give a team a couple challenges for anything. Oh, that's my solution. It's not hard. Like, just let anything be challengeable. Still give a team limited challenges. They'll use it when they feel it's critical. But there's literally no logic that that's not a thing.
The
NFL
NFL
makes no
would
sense.
never do this, but there should be coaches challenges, and then at least maybe one challenge a half, they get like a ref challenge, and New York can review it. New York can make the right call. The NFL will never do it, because that means you're basically saying that the ref is wrong, and then you're proving it on national television.
There's another reason they won't do it too.
Okay.
It's because then they're gonna have to extend more advertising time, and God forbid they spend more money. That's exactly also what it comes down to, unfortunately.
No, so yeah, my thing is, like, I don't know, it has to be fixed. But talking about like the actual Lions, this game was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I mean,
no, it was a great game.
I think
with a terrible ending.
It's just like, okay, so we can talk about this more later at a different game, but do you think the Lions are starting to see the limits of Jared Goff?
Again, but here's the thing. Like, there's been multiple times this year where the O-line plays like perfect around him. And when they do, like, that's when we've seen the Lions are just as good as anybody. But if that O-line can't keep up with whatever scheme they're going up against, or if they're outgunned, and that's where the biggest thing is, if somehow, because I'm not trying to like limit them, but this year I think it's going to be hard. With the teams in the NFC, it's going to be hard push. Let's say the Lions do make the Super Bowl. A team like the Ravens, like that defense, it's just such a bad matchup. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, more than anything, when you can get pressure on Jared from a lot of different angles, and he doesn't know where it's coming, you just shrink him. It's what the Patriots did to him in the Super Bowl. And not that he's the same Jared from then, but it's like, the secret plan to beating Jared Goff is just to get pressure in his face. And you do that all game, and it's going to be a different Jared.
He is one of those quarterbacks that does get shaken up. I remember when the Bears were playing a couple of years ago, and it was more just like, when he was on the Rams, and it was like, if you just hit him like early and often, he's gonna get shaken up. And it was like the recipe for success. Like you sack Jared Goff, hit him a couple times really hard in the first, second quarter. Like he's not making all the throws he was before. I think he's improved it a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, I think with the Lions too, you have seen an improvement on defense, but when you look at what the Lions tried out on defense compared to these other like NFC playoff teams, it's nothing special.
No, especially with the injuries that have kind of piled up over the year. And like, but then also, so I know to give him another shout out again. And I know I might still be butchering the name. We're going to get there. I haven't already been able to say it yet. That's why I'm just speaking from literally what I'm reading. But shouts to my boy, Ifeatu Melifonwu. Again, back-to-back week was the pick now. And continuing to play great after being inserted into the lineup only weeks ago. If you're a Lions fan, you got to love that.
I think it is Melifonwu.
Melifonwu, okay.
I think that's how you say it. Aiden Hutchinson, 3-sack day. I mean, at least their stars are performing how they should perform. I think that is kind of the saving grace for the Lions defense. Cowboys, they won, but I know you feel good about the win, but at the end of the day, like they had 23 seconds, but it's not a win. It's a win statistically, but I think in almost every NFL fan's book, this is a Lions win.
No, and if you're a Cowboys fan, no, exactly. It makes you think to yourself, you're saying to yourself, why? Well, the defense basically choked out with the game on the line. They did. They did. They got bailed out. So yeah, it's like, yeah, and I think the saving grace for your Cowboys fan, I guess, in that case is, look, at least Dak heated up again right at the end of the year. If Dak can continue to stay hot, go into the playoffs with 2 seed, that's still his best case scenario. Shout out to CeeDee Lamb also. Unbelievable this year. Cowboys single season record holder. Insane. And then also, I think another note I just wanted to say that I think you'd agree with completely is that this Cowboys team, by far at its best when Brandon Cooks is eating with that offense.
Yeah, when you really have that strong number 2 in their offense, I think it gives CeeDee Lamb room to really thrive, because if you look at that Cowboys offense, like the run game isn't anything special. CeeDee Lamb is a stud. Jake Ferguson can ball. But if Brandon Cooks isn't eating, it's kind of like it's kind of like the Dak Prescott CeeDee Lamb show, which is fine. But we see what's happening with Buffalo right now with Stephon Diggs, just not really, he's not all there right now. So my thing is like the Bills realistically could go 10-7, like if you think about it. And that is not what anyone pictured coming into this year. So I think that is kind of what they got to focus on in the offseason, getting some more offensive help. But yeah, the Cowboys have a chance to win their division. CeeDee Lamb has been doing great. Next week, I believe they play Washington, and Philly plays the Giants. So even if both teams win, Dallas, I believe, will hold the division.
Yeah, that's all. Dallas just got to win.